we feel the issue of unemployment more than anyone as young people. Now, if we don't bring, because it's one thing making noise, hey, unemployment. What are you saying about this intervention?
What are the solutions?
What are the solutions? So it is more expensive to export in South Africa. To send something from here to Europe is more expensive in South Africa than for Europeans to import something. Something we didn't know. I don't understand why you guys believe your problems will be solved by government. Then they look at me and say, look, yes, your problems are not with government. In fact, government will collapse you. I was employed in a political office. I was a PA to a chief whip.
Yes.
That's how I entered the municipality.
Yes.
And that's the job.
That's a deployment.
Yes, that's a deployment I took.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The People's Eye. Today we're talking to the youth. We have the Treasurer General of the ANC Youth League, Zwelo Masilela, who's our guest today. Treasurer General or Treasurer, I don't know, you'll correct us, and welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
How have you been doing, brother?
No. We've been doing very well. We're very well. We're just busy with work, daily work. Every day is fulfilling the commitment of working for the youth of this country. And just like any other day, we're at work.
Of course. But how has it been? But I see in Mpumalanga has been comrades, young comrades from Mpumalanga have been in the top 5, top 6 of the ANC Youth League. The past, I think, from Ronald Lamula, I was speaking to him in December. Then there was Desmond Muela. Then it's you now. You've been doing really well in terms of that, of occupying the higher positions. Rather getting elected to the higher positions, let me say. Yeah.
No. Mpumalanga has always been one of those provinces, obviously, in the national balance of things, always plays a critical role. And of course, Mpumalanga would have produced the good leaders in the past, and I think it will continue to do so. Because I believe that there's still a lot of potential that can be unearthed in this province.
For sure.
And what is important to continue to unearth and make that potential shine is to continue to support each other, protect each other, and just be comradely with each other. And then I think such intensify more on political education so that our people are politically inclined with the issues, and there's much more clarity as it results to the thinking and all of that. So I think there is potential for more good comrades to come from Mpumalanga if all goes well.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking to ANC Youth League members, I often wonder if a few years later I'll be saying I was sitting with this guy, he's now the president of the ANC or the country. But tell us about your background, man, just for people to know you. People just know you as the treasurer of the ANC Youth League, but your background, where you grew up and up to now.
No, I grew up in a village in Komazi here in Mpumalanga called Mangwin. That's where I was born and grew up there. I studied in a rural school, my primary and my high school. I went to study in the Tshwane University of Technology in Soshaguve. I became more active in student politics. I led various responsibilities in an organization called SASCO, South African Student Congress. It taught us a lot of politics. I came back. I formed part of the provincial executive committee of the Youth League here in Mpumalanga. As far back as 2013. I've also served in the task team which was meant to rebuild the Youth League. I was elected a deputy secretary of the province of the Youth League. And of course, in my other previous roles in the province, I've been a spokesperson of the Youth League in the province, the time of the PC and at the time of the task team. And then I became a national organizer. We prepared the Congress. One of the things that we must always be proud of is that when we were given a responsibility to be a task team, the ANC gave us 3 months to sit the 26th National Congress.
Okay.
And we exactly delivered it in 3 months with just an extra day. In fact, we were exactly on the 3 months, on the 90 days. It's just that it was delayed by registration.
Yeah.
And then it effectively started on the first day of on the 91st day. Because the ANC would have given us 90 days.
Yeah.
So those are one of the things that I'm proud of, because I was made the national organizer, literally being at the center of the administrative and general coordination of making sure that the Congress sits. And that Congress eventually elected me as a Treasurer General, which I'm currently occupying now. Not an easy situation, not an easy position, very difficult with the party funding.
Exactly. Do you have money? Because the motherboard is struggling as well.
Yeah, you can imagine if your mother and father are struggling. You can imagine for the church to be bad. But we've been pushing. Look, we're out of the woods, but we don't have money. When I say out of the woods, the youth league is from liquidation.
Yeah.
The previous task team would have dealt with that issue of liquidation. Look, we're going to NGC. I think by the time we go to NGC, we'll give a positive story about the finances of the youth league. We're going to NGC sometime this year in September. This means it's half term of our term. Because I believe that there's no money in the country. The economy is doing bad. There's a lot of politics that are at play, which affects the status of finances in the country. And if the economy bleeds, we people who are begging for money to run organizations suffer or feel the consequence. Because the reality is that if people are enjoying the fruits of the economy, those who are charitable at heart, they will give. But if the economy is not making them survive as they wish, surely they are saving as all the little they have for survival of their businesses and all of that. So that's why when we call for certain action as it relates to the economy, it's because we know that when the economy is thriving, we too will thrive and be able to do certain things that require resources. And I think fairly, as per the mandate we gave ourselves and the task given by Congress, we've done fairly well in that front.
Yeah, exactly. But it seems to me you've been on a rebuilding phase of sorts. I'll tell you why. Because most people before you guys remember the ANC Youth League from the era of Malema, and then after that, well, there was a ANC Youth League in place, but nobody felt it. I think it was focused on other things, not really the youth programs that it should be focusing on. There were lots of scandals left and right and center when President Zuma was the president at that time. And the ANC Youth League at that time seemed was preoccupied with fighting for Zuma or whatsoever the case might have been at that time. It seems to me you've been on a rebuilding phase. I don't know if you would agree with me.
No, I agree with you that we've been on a rebuilding phase, because remember, when we were elected in 2023, there was only one province. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2 or 3 that were eligible, the PCs, 2 or 3 of them that had elected structures. Most regions were on task teams. We've since that time stabilized the organization. And I think one of the things that were eroded over the intervening period you are referring to, there was just a loss of memory of organizational issues. And there was an erosion of organizational culture. People in the Youth League believed that appointments are a normal thing. It was since the disbandment of the Youth League, people were just appointed. They run as task teams, and other task teams come and go. There's no accountability, because if you are elected, you're able to be accountable through General Council, through a conference, a Congress, and all of that. So what we've done, I'm very happy to say that you guys have been noting our rebuilding mode, which is correct. And we've currently have 7 provincial executive committees. We have launched over 40 regional congresses throughout the country. Okay. There are 53 regions. Over 40 are having executive committees. We've got 7 provinces that have executive committees. It's only the Western Cape and the Northwest that are left. The Northwest, I understand that very soon it will go into a Congress. And the Western Cape as well. So by end of April this year, that is the decision of the NEC, we'll have elected structures throughout the country. By 30 April, we expect to have 53 regions elected. We expect to have 9 rich provinces elected leadership. That's the sense of stability. And then immediately we do that. We inculcate a culture of political education. Even ourselves, we're a national executive committee. Before the start of any NEC since we were elected, we put a political school. So if the NEC meeting is starting on Saturday and Sunday, on Friday, we put a political school. Because even ourselves, we believe that we don't know everything.
For sure.
We're not perfect. We ought to improve ourselves every day. So we've put that responsibility upon ourselves. And we are doing that. And we are saying the lower structures, the regions, the branches must be able to put that into practice as well. Because if you want to build an organization, you must not build it at the top level. It may look hunky-dory with ourselves, but when you go down, there are no people. When you go down, there's no infrastructure to actually rally and carry the organization.
Of course.
Now, we want to assess ourselves through our work on the ground. And people must feel the impact of the Youth League, be on the side of the marginalized. I'm happy that our structures have been doing marches, supporting civic organizations, fighting for gender-based violence, real issues on the ground. Because for the most of the time, like you were saying, the Youth League has been inward-looking, more about the politics of the day in the party, more about the dynamics in the party. But we've drifted away a bit from that because we're trying to build an issue-based Youth League that reflects on these issues, because the history of this country or of the organization suggests that each time the ANC is under siege or under attack, it's the Youth League that comes to the rescue. And we want to be that Youth League. First, and one of the critical things we did was to say, let's do political management during even with these congresses. If I can tell you now, 95% of the congresses were not contested in the country because we engaged leadership. We never the situation where people are fighting, throwing chairs, peaceful. Even in volatile environments where people are not agreeing, we were able to sit them down. Comrades, what is the problem? And that is part of the culture I want to inculcate, because the Youth League has always been associated with rowdiness, uncultured, and all the wrong things. And we're rebranding ourselves, and we believe that we're on the right track. And if we elect the right-minded, talented, creative young people, allow ideas to flow, but importantly, instill discipline. Discipline, because you see, if you run an organization, you don't even charge a person, a single person. Well, just as an example, to say if you do wrong things, especially if a person has been engaged and told not to do certain things and all of that, because you first call a person, hey, avoid doing this, they continue, then you act on them. And when you act on them, everybody else says, hey, these guys, if you do wrong things, they act on you.
Yeah, but you're making a point, but I'm referring back, the ANC and Youth League we're talking about, led by Malema and the rest, I think the main concern with the motherboard was that they were too radical, too outspoken, all those kinds of things, and sometimes ill-disciplined, of course. But the point you are making is, if you keep everything in check, are you not maybe intimidating your members to withdraw and not being able to express themselves?
No. We're probably the most radical Youth League. We've said the most things that people would not ordinarily think we would say, because we criticize the ANC in the right manner. That is our responsibility. But look, we're not grounding our members from being radical.
Yeah.
We're grounding our members on the point of discipline, correct politics, because there's often a problem in this country.
Yes.
Of misconstruing insults with radicalism. Being loud with radicalism.
Of course. Yeah.
Because you can be conventional, not loud, and still be radical.
And make a point.
Make a point. That is why we believe we're radical, and this is why we're saying this. And we've been making, for example, we started the issue of reindustrialization in this country.
Yes.
And if you've listened to the president of the ANC in his last SONA, he spoke about reindustrialization.
Yes.
Listen to the Minister of Trade and Industry. They're beginning to speak about that because those were decisions of our Congress. And those are some of the things we will push through, that the next conference of the ANC adopts the reindustrialization program, because we feel the issue of unemployment more than anyone as young people. Now, if we don't bring, because it's one thing making noise, hey, unemployment. What are you saying about this intervention?
What are the solutions?
What are the solutions? So we've been more, so our noise is about the solutions that we believe can bring stability and solutions to this country. Now, it's pointless to make noise about the problems. It's important to make noise about the solution so that the people that are in charge and are able to take decisions, the parliamentarians and all of those things, are able to be influenced. Because one of the things many people don't say about this youth league, we're the first youth league to send more members of parliament. About 17 NEC members and ex-officials are in parliament there. And we have deployed many comrades who are in legislatures, in the executive. And nobody has said that in all the youth league you are referring to. So we see it in some of these key and influencing platforms. So we cannot be speaking about solutions when we have an opportunity to have some of our NEC members, for example, sitting in committees of parliament and all of those things. And infusing ideas into those structures, because when we say we're contesting power, we're not contesting power just to go there, get salaries, wear suits, and be comfortable. We want to go there because we want to change the policies so that they reflect the challenges that are confronting our young people on the ground. So that when we go speak in our rallies and all these other platforms, we're able to say, look, in this year, there was this policy. We arrived in parliament as the youth league. We advanced this. Now there's this positive change. These are the successes of this advancement and all of those. Those are the things that I believe many people have not or focused on those particular achievements.
Let's talk about them. What is this ANC League pushing for? What policies, what changes is it pushing for? I also want you to respond to this question, because since I'll refer back to the Julius Malema ANC Youth League. I'm sorry if it bothers you that I'm referring to it too much. When they broke away to form the EFF, I think they were talking about the same things within the ANC Youth League, within the ANC, economic freedom in our lifetime, nationalization, all the things that are spoken about in the Freedom Charter. I'm not sure to answer this question, how do you feel about that? Because these things started in the ANC. Are you changing them? Are you moving away from those policies? Or they are the same policies, you claiming them as the ANC because they are in the Freedom Charter? Look, you get my question.
Look, the issue of is not we must never personalize struggles. I was at that Congress in 2011. I was a branch delegate in 2011 at Kalaka. That was a clarion call of the youth of South Africa.
Yes.
What we're advocating for is not views of Colin Malachi, the president of the Youth League, because if he leaves office, those decisions are decisions of the Youth League.
I'm just making a reference.
I'm saying, for example, that's why one of the things we did last year, October, we marched to the JSC as a follow-up.
Yes.
We said it's a follow-up to the memorandum that was submitted by the 24th NEC of the Youth League.
Okay.
Because we believe that you can't then, when you are processing ideas, you rebut things that were progressive. But now, what are the current challenges? And what are the struggles? You coin them, then you advance the struggle. As the 26th NEC, there are three things we have identified. Look, was saying there's a lot of mineral resources in this country. We believe that we must impose export quotas.
Yes.
70% of the mineral resources must stay in the country.
Okay.
For reindustrialization now, which is the second part, because reindustrialization is basically opening up of factories.
Yes.
Because I'm sure you stayed all your life in South Africa. You would know that 20 years, 15 years ago, there were more factories than there is now in this country.
Of course, yeah.
For different industries. Many factories have closed down. In fact, as we speak, ArcelorMittal is one of the plants that are going to be closed. About 3,000 jobs are going to be lost. Now, we are saying, why are you taking minerals to Europe, China, to create secondary industries? Because if you take platinum here, it goes and creates other, it gets to be processed in factories to produce products and all of those things. Now, we need that value chain to be happening in our country.
Of course.
And it's not like we are going to be establishing new factories. Me and you know that some of the factories have become halls for people to go and smoke drugs, have been hijacked buildings now in most of the industrial towns now.
Yes.
It's just reindustrialization. That's why we call it not industrialization,
reindustrialization.
Because it has happened before and it was deliberate. The previous leadership took bad decisions by saying, let's deindustrialize the country. It was a deliberate effort to deindustrialize. I'm saying, why consumer country? In South Africa, there are more malls than factories. Something that I don't know why you create malls. What man are going to use to buy at malls, because we're unemployed. Now, I'm sure every week they are opening a mall, or every month they're opening a mall somewhere in a township. Yeah. They are even opening them in villages now. And because they tend us to be consumers. We're no longer productive because most factories have been closed. And we made a proposal, practically. I was attending recently with the president of the Youth League, the mining in Daba. We met CEOs of big corporates. We made these proposals to them in some of the commissions there in Cape Town. And then they said to us, look, we don't have a problem with opening up industries, but it's very expensive to run a factory in South Africa. First, you've got high prices of electricity, with a risk of not being sustainable. Anytime there can be load shedding. Those are the first things they say. Second, they say, if we finish with our products, making them here in South Africa, it is more expensive to export in South Africa. To send something from here to Europe is more expensive in South Africa than for Europeans to import something. Something we didn't know. And we realized, we said, okay, now we go and read our laws. It's our own decisions. It's a policy. Department of Trade and Industry must simply change that ridiculous policy, because it doesn't make sense why it is expensive for somebody to take out a product from South Africa and sell it outside, but easier for somebody from another country to bring their product to us at a cheaper rate. They say, look, if you resolve at least one of those two challenges, we are willing as business to, in fact, it will be cheaper and better to operate our factories here in the country in terms of the logistics and the value chain. So business is ready. Now it needs decisive leadership. The ANC leadership must be able to say, guys, we're making these policies now. At least there is a talk of that reindustrialization program, because I think all of us have come to realize that there's no government that alone can resolve the question of unemployment in this country and poverty. It needs everybody to be at play, but government's responsibility is to put policies which effectively enables all of these things we're talking to. So that is the immediate thing, because our estimation, we believe that if you can radically, within the next 5 years, put this program of reindustrialization, 10,000 jobs can be easily cultivated and done. And I'm saying 10,000 jobs, it may look small, but 10,000 jobs can, in percentage form, in terms of reducing unemployment, could be massive.
It could be,
So there are immediate things that can be done, and we've made those proposals, and we believe that those are some of the things. And one of the things we've always said is the inculcation of people having loving South Africa. Now, that's where we talk about basic military training.
Yeah.
To say the youth must be able to at least have some form of basic military training.
Yeah.
So that people take pride in being South Africans.
Yeah.
Take pride in being South Africans. In line with that, let's reduce the people who are getting in the country through our porous borders. Our borders are porous.
Yeah.
The people of South Africa cry about inadequacy in terms of supply of medicines in hospitals and clinics.
Yes.
They cry about our medical facilities being full.
Yes.
Now we're about to implement a progressive program called NHI. Our people complain about crime.
Yeah.
The ministers now are busy with the issue of formalization of spaza shops and registration.
Yes.
Me and you know people who live in townships and villages that the spaza shop business was long taken over by Pakistan or Bangladesh and all these guys who are foreign nationals. But the processes of this registration has revealed that most of these people are not documented. They are not in this country legal. Me and you know that downtowns of all our cities have been taken down by Nigerians. They are running them down. Here in Nelspruit, Anderson is gone. In Johannesburg, Hillbrow is gone. It's no longer South Africa, those places. But now, we need to put strong and stringent effect to our Home Affairs, porous borders, and even those who are inside, let's deal with them because they're already in the country. Because these people suffocate the economy, suffocate our infrastructure and budget. We're unable to plan because if government plans according to the population, there are people. If the population says was 62 million, but there's 100 million people in the country, that's why the budget ends up being depleted and bloated and without properly being impactful because we are budgeting for people who are not there in the system. In Johannesburg, they hijack buildings. And it's unfortunate that our courts and what we call civil groups, they go and defend when our government through municipalities try to evict. I was just watching on the news recently. They took the municipality to court for being evicted in a building they hijacked. Through using foundations and civil society groups.
Exactly, because I think it has been a problem drawing the line between people who are here illegally and really the phenomenon of xenophobia, if it does exist. Because I think the main complaint has been about, there are people who are here illegally. What needs to be done about them? There must be a plan about them. But now the picture that is painted out there is that, South Africans are xenophobic. They don't want any foreigner, legal or illegal, in the country.
No, it's not true, my brother. If you've traveled, I'm sure you've traveled. Even here in SADC, not far.
No, it's not easy,
It's not easy to get into other countries.
No, it's not.
I'm saying I can be in an hour, I can be here in Eswatini. In an hour, I can be here in Mozambique. You feel it when you're at the border that you are being processed to enter a country.
Exactly.
You're being processed. The documentation should be aligned. You are asked, where are you going? How long are you? Now, you travel abroad. I'm saying even areas where they are visa free. They say, no, you don't need a visa if you're from South Africa. You feel it because those countries, they understand that being outnumbered. Because my fear in this country is that we're going to be outnumbered if we're not already outnumbered by illegal foreign nationals. Because people who are here for refugee status and all these other legal people who are here for work. Because, my brother, I don't understand what would make, even if you are here legal. I don't understand why certain jobs should be given to foreign nationals.
True.
For example, being a waiter at a restaurant. You go to other countries. In fact, in SADC, most countries now have taken a decision to reserve particular jobs
for locals.
Because if we can do that, I can tell you just on restaurants, basic entry-level posts at different institutions.
But the main issue, are South Africans keen on taking those jobs? Are they keen to have spaza shops? Are they keen to be waiters, even to work on farms? Are they keen?
South Africans are keen as long as the employers are going to give them minimum wage. The problem is that there isn't this. Look, South Africans know their rights. They know the minimum wage and which are policies of government. Now, a helper now in South Africa, I think, should be earning 4,000 to 5,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Those are jobs that should be reserved for South Africans. Those are kind of jobs. Waiters. There was a recent restaurant which was exposed that they were even taking tips from these people. They were not getting anything.
Yeah.
They were treating them like slaves. Now, those are the regulations that need to be intervened, because if those jobs are reserved for South Africans, we will be able to consolidate a huge number of young people who are unemployed. I can tell you, if you can say people must be paid minimum wage, they'll take those jobs. There's nothing degrading about being a waiter. There's nothing degrading about being cleaning a house and all of those things.
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing degrading about being a nanny. But if I'm paid a living wage, why not? Because I will be able to cover the transport to and back from work and be able to feed my livelihood. Now, young people are not... they never said they don't want those jobs, but there's no young person who is a South African who can go there and work for money that will not be even enough to pay for their monthly transport fee and then live out of that. And so that is the issue. That's why those laws were put for basic minimum wage. If we instill Department of Labor ensures that those establishments and restaurants and everybody else abides by those rules, and there's a regulation that those things are reserved for South Africans, I can tell you, my brother, South Africans will take those jobs. There's nobody. I've never heard a South African says, I'll never be this. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, but how about investors who are used to cheap labor now? Because even for them, I think if the labor is cheap, then it's all good for them. They make more profits.
If you want cheap labor, then you're in the wrong place. I'm saying, my brother, you go to anywhere in the world. There are laws in the country.
There must be,
Look, capital works by rules, but they always try to circumvent the rules. Your responsibility is to be strict on the rules. Now, enforcement. What is the role of inspectors, labor inspectors? Those people are paid, they're doing nothing, they're having government cars doing nothing. They should be going to these establishments enforcing. So what is happening currently with these inspections is that it's a sensational thing. Once it's on social media trending, they go there and then that's it. Nobody is daily seeing these inspectors really putting legislation. And look, at the center of all of these problems, I think one of the things we must talk about in this country is about the corruption. Because you see, everybody in South Africa, when speaks about corruption, they think about tenders, money, billions and millions. I want us to have a conversation about, first, the problem of borders. Some of these borders that are porous is because of our corrupt SARS, Home Affairs, and police who are guarding those border posts. This corruption that I'm talking about, of inspectors not inspecting whether people are employing South Africans or people with documentation, whether people are being paid the minimum wage, those are labor inspectors whom, if you can put deep investigation, you will find they're in cahoots with these establishments. Now, that is the sort of big corruption that is collapsing the country. And we sort of place a lot of interest in this corruption that is of politicians, this and that. We forget about basic corruption because, you know,
where it starts there.
I was in my village sometime in December. So I meet a person who tells me that they know of people who stay in Eswatini, eat school nutrition in South Africa, study in South Africa, because the school nutrition, there's free education. They get everything in South Africa, but they stay in Swaziland.
For sure. I mean,
now, and they say they pass, what is Mwang or something, they pass there every day. Those people are tapping into our budget, but they're not accounted for. That's corruption, and I'm told they pass there. There are soldiers there who know these things. It's normal.
No. It's normal. That border, the
so
people
saying,
are moving.
Is that not corruption?
Are moving
is
in
that
and
not
out.
sabotage to the country? Because you may find that there's 1,000 kids passing there every day. So there's 1,000 people that the South African government feeds without being accounted for when the Minister of Basic Education tables a budget. They don't count them, right? But they feed to our system.
Yeah.
Now, when we say there's corruption, we must not think of big corruption because
of tenders and all of
probably
that.
they're paying somebody 10 rand to do that, or 50 rand, or 100 rand.
Of course.
We don't value it as corruption.
Yeah.
There's a huge issue here in our country, here in Mpumalanga. There's still these Pakis, you know it.
Yeah.
They pass through these borders. Who makes that transit? Because there's security there, there's soldiers, there's police.
And they're always overloaded. You can see what,
you pass every day here. Now it's police who are not doing their job, probably taking a bribe. I'm not saying so, but I'm saying, why would they let this thing slide? Now, how would you blame a politician? Because politicians now have put an agency called the Border Management, which seeks to curb all of those things. But if the human capital deployed there is corrupt or let things slide, there will be no progress in this country. So it goes back to the point of saying, we must bring a sense of love to South Africans. You must love your country jealously. Yeah. You see, that's why your house, you put a wall, you put an electric fence if you have resources. Yeah. Even if you have no resources, you make a boundary in your house.
So this is my place. Yeah.
If somebody comes, they knock. I'm Zwelo Masilela, I'm here to visit you. Yeah. And I can't overstay because I would have said I'm here for these purpose, and when I'm done, I must leave. Now people just enter our house. They don't indicate when are they leaving. They just do as they please, and are let in by other South Africans.
Yeah. So do you think the problems of unemployment are caused more by outsiders? No, or is it more about really the jobs have not been created?
Look,
or it's just part of the problem?
It's just part of the problem. I don't think it's the main problem.
Yeah, yeah.
The main problem is the structure of the economy. That is the problem. The issue I'm raising about foreign nationals, it's the fact that we're unable to plan as a country. We may blame the National Development Plan not being effective, all these policies of government, but the policies of government are according to Status A. And Status A does not have data of the illegal foreign nationals, because
for sure,
all people who are here on statuses of refugee who entered the country on reasons which are legislated and documented. Those people, we know them, we're budgeting for them. But there are people who are here, they don't have any form of documentation. Now, but you can't be able to say, no, man, it seems like we're men in the country now. Who are these people? Until you put effective ways. I'm saying if me and you now can join any roadblock here with police, I'm sure there will be many people who are foreign nationals without documentation that can be found in a roadblock anywhere. I'm saying you can do it anywhere in any part of the country. Every day police are talking about finding illegal foreign nationals. They try to deport them, whatever, take them to Lindela. But I can tell you, those people make a U-turn, they come back, because it's easy. Our borders are porous. Here in Zimbabwe, the whole of Zimbabwe is here in the country. The whole of Zimbabwe is here in the country. We love our brothers, there's no problem. But they must be here in a documented manner that I'm here for employment. And bringing particular skills that are maybe brought in, they are not available maybe as a result of whatever. Now, I'm saying that should be the issue that portrays our interest every time, because it really does not make a sense of ourselves not guarding this country, because one day we'll wake up, we'll no longer be in charge of this country, South Africans. There are areas where you South Africans are told, you can be told that you can't enter here by people who are not from this country. I know of areas. There was once an incident in Durban where South Africans were chased. There was a physical fight. Police had to come and intervene in South Africa. Foreign nationals telling South Africans not here. Now imagine, you can't do that in another country. No, it can't be business as usual. And there's no xenophobia, my man. There's no xenophobia about protecting your country, your sovereignty. I think people must when they sing the national anthem, they must internalize it and view it from a different angle, rather than just a hymn or a song. That thing speaks about what should be done by a South African if you love this country. Because that's why I always tell people that if you love South Africa, you love it above your political organization. You love South Africa above everything. Because, my man, I've traveled the world. There's no better place to stay than South Africa. But if we are not careful about these things of managing our borders, we'll one day wake up not being in charge of this country. Most South Africans will not survive outside South Africa. will not survive outside South Africa is bad. If you think South Africa is bad, it's worse in other countries. You go to the SADC, even in Europe, my man. It's very expensive and difficult to live in some of the countries.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, my message to the youth of South Africa is that they must start really, really putting love and much commitment to this country, invest in it. Because if we don't invest our energies to this country, nobody will. We are the future. This is our country. We need to put more love to it. And if we put more love to it, we'll act in the best interest of the country. For me, that is important because it's bigger than any policy. It's bigger than any action. Because if you put love to the country, you will not allow the country to be ruined. You will not allow people, if you are a police officer at a border gate, you let people pass because they gave you something. You let illegal goods, you let counterfeit goods to come into the country, because those are the things that are collapsing the economy.
For sure.
You see.
You spoke about reindustrialization, pushing for that. Are these special economic zones not doing that part of trying to reindustrialize the country? I don't know if ever we've assessed their impact on whether they are going to have that meaningful impact on unemployment, especially youth unemployment, which is very high. I don't know if those interventions are really, really going to help.
Look, I think the SEZs, they call them SEZ, have not really yielded much. I think at the conceptualization point, it is a good idea.
Yeah.
I think how they are implemented, they're trying to implement it, it's a bit starting with the tail and the head.
Yeah.
For me, it's about starting with the tail instead of the head.
Yeah.
Now, there's a mismatch. That's why they're not able to respond to these economic needs. Look, an SEZ should have three things.
Yeah.
If you are saying we want to bring a special economic zone,
yeah,
now attached to it there must be a TVET college to produce the skill.
Of course, yeah.
You can't be speaking about an SEZ that will deal with agriculture, and your TVET here does not have skills that respond to agriculture.
Yeah.
It means who's going to employ there? That's why the local people will never feel it.
Yeah.
It will be a white elephant to them. Now, that's why when you do these things, you must partner. Government should have brought TVET sector, guys, create curriculum for these skills. We need artisans, we need this, so much number of artisans, so much number of laborers in these categories and fields. Then the TVET colleges set up a campus for that period and be able to develop those skills so that the SEZ does not have a problem of accessing those skills. They just fetch and it responds to the economy and they work.
Yeah.
That's how SEZ should be structured. And the SEZ should be able to say, okay, we've got the labor force now through this TVET college which is producing for us.
Yes.
Where are the markets to feed off this work we're doing here?
Yeah.
Now, if you do, for example, the Nkomazi SEZ, you must be able to have proper links with the harbour there in Maputo and the one in Durban.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's one there in Richards Bay. Be able to interlink those logistics.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense to have all of those things not properly coordinated in that manner. Because I can tell you, an SEZ, it's an interdependent economic setup. You can't do it, say, no, I want to do this SEZ, and then you leave it at that.
Yeah.
You will not have fruition.
Yeah, for sure.
They will not succeed.
Yeah, you're raising a point about skills, and there has always been this disjuncture in South Africa about does the country produce the skilled people that is needed by the job market? You know, it has always been that problem. I think that's the reason why there was the opening conceptualization of the TVET colleges, for instance. But now I'm asking this question again. Are our youth, they are unemployed, of course, in many numbers, but do they get the necessary skills in universities where they go to, the colleges, or even after matric? Are they employable? Can you, I mean, in the olden days, somebody who've got a standard 10, as it was called, could be employable.
Look, I think that's what I'm saying. When we speak about the structure of the economy, restructuring the economy, you must be able to say, in 10 years, South Africa will need 50,000, 100,000 structural engineers.
Yeah.
We'll need 50,000 artisans.
Yeah.
We need 100,000 a particular type of laborers.
Yes.
And so on and so on and so on and so on. So break it down. Now, in total, we need about 2 million people. Though. So we're saying, as we plan these infrastructure projects, remember, you saying, for example, when we're doing World Cup 2010,
Yes.
we knew that we'll need so much skills by this time. Now, if you plan different infrastructure projects as a country, and of course, feeding to the reindustrialization project, you will be saying in 10 years, we'll need these things to deal with the question of reindustrialization. Then you must be able to package. Yes. So you speak to universities, you speak to TVET colleges.
Yeah.
Guys, stop producing human resource practitioners. Guys, reduce on admin posts.
Yes.
I mean, curricula.
Yes.
Introduce this curricula because the economy requires that, right? Because you will not then have unemployed graduates because a graduate will be working to employment immediately because they will be working, will be doing something they know that the market is in high demand of. Now, also, it's not true in South Africa that some of these white collar posts or decorated. Do you know that an artisan rates more than a doctor per hour?
For sure.
An artisan. An artisan, I think, rates more than in an hour, rates more than a medical doctor in this country. But when you grow up and say you want to be an artisan, it's not a decorated career path. But the reality is that artisans earn more than doctors per hour or rate more.
Yeah, but
now,
I think
those are things that
it's perceptions that have been created.
Yes. Now we must go to our communities in doing these things of career guidance. Tell our people that, guys, let's take this thing of skills because skills are more important into the economy than the academic, posts of analyzing and all of those things. People, for you to have an industrial country, it needs hands. People who are skilled to do brick and mortar. Now,
yeah, because a perfect example is our grade 12 children are going through torture because they have to be seen to be performing academically.
Yes.
And those who are performing academically, we see them on TVs and so on, which is, it's okay. It's allowed, it's okay. But now how about those who are not gifted really academically? Yes. Do we pay enough attention to them? Can we say one day, okay, this one didn't pass, didn't get a distinction, but here he's a plumber, he's something else, a technician of sorts.
Yeah, look, I'm happy that government has been trying to introduce these technical schools. I think Gauteng has been doing well in that front. Because there are people who are just technical.
They're just
a person is good with computers without going to school, can fix a computer. Why are you not investing in that talent of this person trying being a technician, fixing this and that? This person started being an electrician without any qualification. Whenever there were plugs falling off at home, you fix them. Yeah. You nurture that creativity and make sure that those people you take into the right direction to the technical school. So to do a technical school, for me, it does not need you to build a new school called technical school. You go to the existing rural schools, you set up a workshop. Government must simply go to an existing high school and say, we're going to set up a technical workshop here, which will deal with electrical and all of those things. Now, that's what needs to be done as an investment now on the skills, because we end up importing skills that could be done. And there are institutions that should assist government with those sort of skills. And even the people who are in the labor force currently, there should be a way that they are upskilled and reskilled. So that they don't lose jobs, because what happens is that there's this thing of saying, no, there are people who are skilled, you guys now are phased out. We don't want people who are having employment to lose jobs, because that will be bad to the economy. Now, there should be a program of upskilling, and there is budget for that through the Department of Labor, UIF, and National Skills Fund, NSF. Those monies should come into play to upskill and reskill the people who are already in the labor force, so that they are not retrenched on the basis that they no longer exact particular skills and the new intake of people are.
Yeah, now there's artificial intelligence coming into play.
Yes.
Which is very important.
Exactly.
For the point that you're
now
making.
They must be reskilled so that artificial intelligence does not make them lose their jobs. They must be able to operate the new technologies that are being introduced. And for me, that is very important, because we may be talking about employment and it will be used as employment, but pushing out people now who are saying, no, you're no longer skilled, you're no longer relevant, and all of those things. And the AI now seem not to be in a positive light. Now, the upskilling and reskilling of those who are in the labor force becomes more important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And while you're talking about this, what comes to my mind, the issue of innovation. You basically have people who are inventing things, man, that could change the world. In South Africa, we do have them. I think there was a hype about, was it last year, early this year? Last year, about this guy, this young man who invented a hydrogen vehicle and all of that. There are so many of these guys inventing good things. Is there enough support for such people? Because my observation has been that no, there have not been any support. I mean, I know somebody who was even an inventor, but his skills were used more in the US. His innovations were used more in the US than here. Actually, here he didn't get any help. He was a professor in a university in the US. So there are so many of these children. They're coming up with this youth. They're coming up with good ideas, novel ideas, that resolve certain problems.
No, I think that is one of the things we've been saying. There was once a black industrialist program, which I think there was no longer passion. I think the new leadership that entered in that space never took it with passion, because that's where it falls in. Because there is budget to fund ideas in this country, patent them, package them, because most ideas are stolen from brilliant young people. An example is the Vodacom guy, because of patent issues. Now, we need to, as people are thinking of ideas, they must patent them before even they materialize. I think one of the things, there is money to fund patenting in this country.
But is there support? Let's say I'm in Gomazi somewhere in a village or in KZN. I've got this brilliant idea. Can I just take a taxi to the nearest town and get that office? You know what I mean?
I think we must do more of outreach, call for outreach of these institutions to go to those places. So that our people are able to patent their ideas. But I agree, it's not aggressive, it's not strong, it's not there. More should be done to bring about that program. I believe that it's a key program that must be done, because the youth have more ideas than any other person. And the ideas need funding, and ideas need investors, and ideas need support. And I think government should play a critical role there, because these big businesses will not do anything. They'll just steal those ideas and use them for their interest. Now, we believe that we should, I think it was one of the things we must emphasize now in our campaigns, to say, guys, people with ideas, let's at least patent them so that we still have ownership. And then we struggle now with the issue of funding those ideas to take off. I think it's one of the things that must be done. It's not a strong attribute that is happening in government, and it should be a strong attribute, especially now when we have massive unemployment. There are people who can have ideas to resolve the unemployment crisis much better and quicker. And if we can support some of their ideas, it could greatly help us.
Okay. Going back to the ANC Youth League, you spoke about establishing regions, branches all over the country. What is the plan to make sure that you, as the ANC Youth League, are felt really on the ground? For instance, Emangweni, where you come from, maybe there are no sports facilities. The ANC Youth League should be there to ensure that, look, there are sports facilities for for kids in the surrounding area. I mean, all those issues you'll think as minor, but they are very important. Children need to play so that they don't go into drugs. Children need to have libraries, okay, which is that has been done. But they need to have theaters. They need to spaces where they're able to express themselves and stay away from drugs after school and all those kinds of things. For you to be visible, to be active at that level, at the grassroots level, what's the plan?
Look, this is what we're saying. A branch of the Youth League should not be about comrades, people who are interested in politics. It was more or less, it should be about young activists. For me, it doesn't make sense to have a branch executive committee that does not have a coach of a local club who's young, or a young man who's a part of, or is influential in one soccer team, netball team, volleyball, whatever sporting coach. Somebody in sports must be there. Doesn't make sense for you to have a branch executive committee of the Youth League where there's no person who's a leader, who's a youth leader in their church. There must be a church leader there. It doesn't make sense to have a Youth League BEC that does not have a person who's involved in Pansula dancing, they're organizing a group for dancers. Doesn't make sense to have a BEC, not to have somebody who works for a caregiver group or whatever, or a hospice center. It doesn't make sense for the Youth League to have a BEC that does not have a professional, whether it's a teacher, a nurse, or police or anything. It doesn't make sense for the Youth League not to have somebody who's in the technical mind thinking and all of that. Because that's why I want to mobilize people. Because if we're all comrades thinking dogmatic in the manner we're thinking, who's going to engage sectors now? For saying now I want to engage, because you see problem, that's where people complain that you only come to us, you guys, when it's elections. Now, if you're having a person who's a church leader representing the Youth League, he's always at church. You're no longer seen as people who arrive during elections. If we're engaging youth in sports, we have a leader here who's in sports, he's always with them. He imparts our views to them. He mobilizes them. You need to bring the Youth League to its original owners, the people. You see, when people were speaking about gatekeeping, blah, 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 is the wrong thing. It's because you put I can't put my set of friends. They think like me. They believe like the ideas are always around me. Nobody will come and do something different. Will not campaign differently. Will not be active. Will not be felt by the people on the ground. The youth, they want to see what represents them. They say, these guys, they speak a lot of English, whatever. They will not listen to you. But here comes a person who represents them, looks like them, acts like them, lives with them, standing there saying, I'm your leader, I'm saying this, and then vote ANC, why the Youth League, whatever. Now, the message is clear. But Hans was saying, let's bring back an activist Youth League. A Youth League that's there with the people, not there when there are issues. Not there when there's a funeral. Not there when there's an incident. So, for example, you can't have a piece of the Youth League not having a person who's in a CPF, in a community policing forum. Because you must be involved in issues. When they talk crime, you know what's happening. When they talk sports, you know what's happening. When they talk health, you know what's. You must know every community issue. A CDW, whatever. Now, those are things a business person involved in local projects must be part of the Youth League, and they must find comfort. So, if I join, I'm a civil rights activist. Other civil rights activists will join the Youth League. If I'm a youth person or whatever, other youth in sports will join. And so now the Youth League will now have all forms of people. Because what chases people away is that they see us as these comrades speaking a lot of ideology up there.
And mostly it's more about joining a branch, either of the ANC Youth League or even of the ANC. It's more about, join there, they'll try to get you a job or something. The bread and butter issues now overtake everything. There's no discussion on anything, activism on anything. It's more about let me be there. I'll be in the proximity of people who can assist me to get a job or get that tender. Or
That's what we must change. Look, and the only way to change that is when, I always say that a branch of the Youth League must be a most active thing. The Youth League should engage on, really, there are many issues that the Youth League can engage on, and they should be engaging on, rather than these politics.
Yeah.
Closing this Congress, I was here at the Congress of the Youth League in Mpumalanga, Provincial Congress. I was saying to those comrades in one of my articulations, I don't understand why you guys believe your problems will be solved by government. Then they look at me and say, look, yes, your problems are not with government. In fact, government will collapse you. The problems that you want to intervene on are there in the private sector. Now, how do you penetrate the private sector? You find creative ways. I said, you guys here have minds. Why is the Youth League not having a relationship with the Chamber of Mines here in the province? Who's leading whatever? You may find that there's a youth organization mobilizing around mines or youth, whatever, in mines. Why are you not having a relationship with NUM Youth? There's an organization structure for National Union of Mine Workers Youth. Why are you not having a special relationship with them as the Youth League in the province? Because we have a lot of mines here, power stations. Now, that must be your preoccupation, because you can't be preoccupied by something you don't have. I say, there's agriculture here. I've never seen any of you owning even 2 goats or plowing 2 cabbages. But you want to speak about other things, then you are leading the wrong people. The people who are leading are there. Then you want to go to some offices of government and block yourselves there and recycle yourselves there. And then you will not be relevant to somebody who's a mining engineer working in some mine. When they speak to you, they'll hear that you are not speaking their language. When you meet an agricultural economist or an agricultural engineer or whoever engaged in agriculture or farming, they'll hear that this guy is not my... I'm saying there's a white elephant here, agricultural...
college.
Not agricultural college, the fresh produce market. I'm saying the Youth League is quiet. That thing should be creating, and billions and millions of rands were spent. Nothing is happening. The Youth League must be able to say, there are young people seated at home. How does this project or this building or infrastructure respond to our issues? Go speak to the youth in agriculture. They will tell you how they can utilize that infrastructure. They know what can be done. Engage them. But you'll not get that if you don't engage them. You're always speaking to the same faces. The same faces are the ones that made us decline in elections. Why are you not engaging new people? I'm even saying, look, we call meetings every day. We're talking amongst ourselves. We're talking past each other. Rally, this. Those things, for me, we've done them. Now we need to talk to our people, sectors, engage them, tell them our issues. We listen to their issues. We tell them our frustration. Because I believe most of the solutions are with the people who are working these things on a daily basis, not with us. We've been talking about those things, Tina. Clearly, we're not finding the right way to implement them because policies are there. We're not implementing. Now, let's bring these guys who are working on the ground. Maybe they can do better. There's nothing wrong with asking for help and making people achieve whatever you want to achieve. Now, for me, it's about being there and getting the relevant people to do the work, because I don't see anything assisting with not getting the right people. We've tried it. I don't think we are capable of resolving these things alone without the people who are involved in the various sectors.
For sure. With this problem of youth unemployment, I mean, it's really huge. Do you feel that the youth of this country are on the precipice of revolting?
Look, it's us who said, through our president, who said unemployment is a disaster. It's a serious disaster. If not attended, that reality you are saying would happen. They will revolt. We may have given the COVID relief, the relief of 350, whatever. It's not enough. Now, we may have postponed the problem. The problem is there.
Yeah.
Problem is real. The youth of this country are on the streets. The aggregate percentage of youth unemployment is higher than the average youth unemployment of the country. So young people are more unemployed than the general unemployment rate in this country. So if the aggregate youth percentage of youth unemployment is higher than that of the country, then it's a problem. So unemployment in this country doesn't just affect everyone, it affects young people.
Yeah, but will the basic income grant help in any way? Is it necessary?
That's not what we believe. It's an intervention. It won't help.
Yeah.
What will help is what we're saying. Put people at work, reindustrialize the country.
Yeah.
I'm saying unemployment creates anxiety, my brother. Creates anxiety, creates frustration. I'm saying if you're unemployed, you can't think properly.
For sure.
You can't do basic things. No more unemployed because I'm saying a basic thing. It may look a bit sound funny, but I'm saying you can't do basic things of basic life of dating, living a normal life like any other young person. We're young people. So the day you found yourself in an unemployment situation, you're bound to be frustrated, depressed, and all of that. And we can't depress the country that long.
Yeah,
it will crack and collapse. People will do all manner of things.
Will you say the high crime rate is due to this reason of unemployment of many people?
Yes, because I mean, two things happen when you're unemployed. Still, you're frustrated, you get into drugs, you get into crime, and you do all other social ills. If you're not busy, my man, what are you going to do? If you're not busy waking up 8 to 5 to 9 to 5 to a particular workplace, it's very rare when you hear of a person who's employed who does crime. A person wakes up, goes to work, and then in the evening they do crime. Because from work you're tired with your work suit or whatever.
For sure.
You want to rest for the following day. It's very rare. I'm not saying people who are employed don't do crime, but I'm just saying the people who are unemployed are the ones who are mostly doing the crime. And what is painful is the violent crime. Because this unemployment begets anger, begets violence, and all of these things. Now, I can just describe it as social ills because there are others who don't commit crime, they're just into drugs. They consume nyaupe with the same 350. They probably steal from local petty crime to buy more drugs and all of those things. They're on the streets. They're beggars. You go to our cities, there are people every robot. They're not stealing, they're just there begging, hoping that whatever now, to begging to eat and survive and smoke. Because they've given up on life, and our statistics show that there's youth that has given up on looking for a job. They're no longer looking for it. They're saying, look, this thing is not for us.
It's not working.
We'll better hear the robots asking. No, we're in trouble. My man, we're in trouble. That's why we call it a disaster. And if this disaster is not resolved, we'll have a serious problem. And I believe that these interventions will make us avoid this disaster from continuing and normalize things at least to a better situation where people are on the workplace and they are able to feed for their families and survive.
Of course. No, we'll conclude with you. I know you have an interesting project annually. I think let's conclude with that. Let's rather get to the sensational issues, I would say. Sensational issues. I've known you write well. I think I've spoken to you before. You write so well. Okay, I got to understand that you studied journalism and all of that. Did you finish it? What happened?
No, I did finish it. Definitely, I did finish it. Look, my man, I'm a politician or an activist who has people who like him, who like me, who don't like me. And it's not my right to decide how people should feel about me. What is important is presenting the facts. You don't lie in public institutions or in private, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you see, you must never lie anywhere.
Yeah.
Because lies have short legs. They will always come after you. Now, I finished my school and everything. I've got 2 degrees, by the way.
2?
Yes. I've got an advanced diploma in public administration.
Okay.
And I've got a diploma in journalism. I'm still studying my honors now in public administration. I'm still at school. I'm a student as we speak.
Okay.
Now, so I'm a person who's fond of education. Okay. But I think the institutions themselves, because there are institutions implicated, and they've already indicated that they'll respond to clarify whatever issues are there, and they will clarify them, because there are no issues of guilt on my part or wrong. It's a process that happened, because I think that's what happened.
Yeah, and your journalism, when did you finish it? 2022?
2021.
2021.
Yes.
I don't know. There's that gap. I don't know. Did you attend university when? What happened? Yeah.
No. This is what happened. I would have not finished.
Yeah.
And then I went back to finish. It was just. I think I was left with 1 or 2 subjects which I had to finish, and I finished.
Okay.
Because in between, I got to be employed by the ANC.
Oh, yes.
And I took a responsibility there with the ANC and all of that.
Okay.
And then later joined the municipality and all of that. So there was never anything sinister. In this country, there's always an obsession to make people sensationalize issues, like you put it. That's why I knew that I'm in a public platform. I need to respond accurately, and I did. And that's what would have happened, So there was never an issue. And I think there will still be no issue, because those issues would be clarified properly.
No. Because what you're mentioning about the gap in doing your journalism, taking some years, take up a job, and then finish the modules you didn't finish whatsoever. It's a typical South African story. I mean, most of us, my personal story is like, I had my diploma at age 38, and I'd been a journalist for close to 20 years.
Exactly.
That kind of a thing.
And
so, okay.
Just maybe for people to know, I was employed in a political office. I was a PA to a chief whip.
Yes.
That's how I entered the municipality.
Yes.
And that's the job.
That's a deployment.
Yes, that's a deployment I took.
Okay.
At the time, there was no act which limits the professionalization of municipal.
Yes.
Yes. It was only in 2021 introduced by Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma to professionalize, in 2016 rather.
Yeah.
To professionalize, but it was effected in 2021. That police. Now, I would have joined the municipality in 2014. There was no such police.
Yes.
It spoke of suitable candidates. And I was a suitable candidate because I was you there in a political office at the time. You are wanted by the politician.
Yeah,
they decide I want to work with this person.
They call them a role-playing position, something so attached to the.
Yes, but unfortunately at the time it was permanent.
Oh, okay.
Before the legislation.
Yeah.
Now the legislation came into effect, which said no, these things. So when in 2016, when the new political, so my chief whip left in 2016 because the ANC did not bring him back. So the new chief whip says, "Hey, I don't want to work with you."
So okay.
I don't want to work with you. So okay, but I'm permanent. I'm a permanent employee of the municipality now. Now the municipality, if you remember, also in 2016 it was amalgamating.
Yes.
With Umchindi.
Yes.
So 2 municipalities being merged to form the city of Mbombe.
Okay.
Now, there was now a many of us who are in that predicament because there were other positions that are matching. For example, there will be an engineer from Umchindi coming to join the site. Now that, how do you place them? So there was a process called of placement, which took about 2 years, which I spoke about. That process took 2 years.
Of placing people.
Then they were not placing people. Because they were not doing the placement. But in my instance, they didn't place me because of my qualification.
Yeah.
They placed me according to the salary scales.
Okay.
So you say, no, you earn 5,000. They say, okay, which post has 5,000? They place you.
Okay.
You earn 10,000. Okay, that's how I think they placed us, because I would have questioned some of the things like I indicated, and then that was the clarity. And the unions were involved actively, and I'm told that there's still frustration with some of the employees who have left the institution. So that was basically that. That's how I came about to then be placed in a post like that. So
being a researcher. So you accepted it.
Yes.
Well, was it something you could? Well, what happened? Did you perform the duties, or what happened?
No, I did perform the duties. Look, I believe I'm a skilled person. I am skilled, and I believe that I'm capable enough to navigate the environment, which we navigated until we resigned. And we believe we served the best of our abilities. And the reports are there for people to check what was the work we're doing.
What was the work?
Because it's also a problem, this thing of wanting to judge yourself. But we did optimally with the resources and everything that was there. But we did record our challenges to say these are the challenges we're having. And they were recorded as such, and the institution is aware. So the reality was that I was a political employee, and the removal or movement of my chief whip created me a problem. Otherwise, I would have been a PA until whenever. But understanding that my principal was deployed, and I had to leave. But fortunately, he had to leave. But unfortunately, I was permanent, and I can't want to unemploy myself when there's such a huge crisis of unemployment in this country and all of that. It's just unfortunate that these guys made it as if it's a fraud or whatever. I think the institution has communicated with me that no, they will clarify the issues, what legislations were used to do the processes and all of those things.
Okay, but did you enjoy being deployed, or rather being given the researcher job? Did you enjoy it? Did you want it? Did you protest?
No, I like I'm saying, it was a lot of engagement happened, which I did not agree with some of the things. But I'm saying this thing was taking a bit too long. Because the placement process took about 2 years. Which now for 2 years there's back and forth about your responsibility. Now you end up saying, look, guys, I think there was too much confusion. Let's just take this. Now you agree with the employer, you move on. Because we felt, look, just work. We're here to serve our people. Be carrying on help. We did work. So that's about it, my brother. That we wanted to work and worked, and we now know that because of our activism, those things have created a sensation and people misconstrued it. And I think the official responses by the institution will clarify all of those things, because I think it's important for the institution itself to speak, because I'm speaking myself as an employee. My employer must then come and clarify also. Because I think if they clarify, then it's clear.
It becomes clearer.
It becomes clearer because I don't want to be venturing much on this discussion myself. But I want the employer to come forward and have committed that they will respond, because apparently there's an inquiry already on the issue.
The public protector.
The public protector said no, and I think they've given it 10 days. They said they will respond. The public protector was already publicly communicated that they will respond in 10 days or on the matter. And the municipality says no, we're interacting with the public protector on the matter and we'll respond, clarify it, and then we close it. So it's as good as that. And I'm confident that in that 10 days, all of us will be now clearer in our minds as South Africans what's happening. Because I think it's important that this thing is clarified properly. Because from where I'm sitting, there's no crisis. Really, there's no issues. I just believe that, when you're a treasurer general of a big organization, people have an interest in you, and they think probably I was the most high-profile politician in that list of 20 other young candidates who wanted to interview there. So probably I knew that it was going to be. And I believed besides that issue, we performed highly. They were able to respond to all the issues, and we clarified our our perspective on how we want to advance youth development. And I believe that we would have convinced the committee and South Africans on our ability to drive youth development as people who are engaged with it on a daily basis.
Yeah. But don't you think the tumult that has been created and the complaint to the public protector is going to jeopardize or affect your chances?
I'm happy because
in the NYDA.
I'm saying I'm happy because I speak of 10 days. Now in 10 days, that matters will be clarified.
Okay.
So in 10 days, the matter will be clarified. So it doesn't jump. See, I was worried if they would say this thing will take 3 years investigation, but I will be left with a cloud for 3 years. Now in 10 days, they will be clarified that no, this guy. And if they say no, this guy did something wrong, I'm good to step aside. I continue with my work. You know. It's not like that post is the end of it all. You know, it's a deployment like other deployment if it happens, but I would not take it to heart and then we'll have to account if we did anything wrong. But if they say no, this guy did not do anything wrong, we continue the work. There's nothing.
For sure.
People will always talk, my man. Especially if you're a public figure, a politician. Positive and negative. Now, we must not always clap when they do the positive. We must also accept and the negative. But what is important is the process. It's clearer, and that 10 days for me is fair on me and probably on the people who are worried or want clarity as well. I think the South Africans have a right, and those people who seek clarity, and that organization that wants clarity, I think they have a right to have that clarity because we were paid by public funds. I was not working for a Fantonder's farm somewhere. I was working for a public institution. And therefore, we need to be accountable. And those institutions will respond and clarify the issues, and then public protector will make a determination. And that determination, I think, should be accepted by all South Africans and move forward.
No, those interviews, they seem to be very tense, man. How did you feel being there? Because I saw one man who could not talk.
Look, my man, in all my life, I've never been intimidated. I'm not a person to be intimidated. I was not intimidated. Even when I was asked that question, I had to clarify it. Look, all my life, I've been a confident person from a young age. I've been confident, doing public speaking and all of that. I'm generally fearless of anything. Even life, I confront it without fear. I confront everything without fear. I'm never fearful of anybody or anything. Those who know me, they know that I'm not scared of anybody, and I don't bow down I don't give in. I fight to the end. Where we are because we fought. There are many people who would have tried previously to end our political careers, and we have seen them resurfacing. Hey, maybe this is an opportunity to give these guys a political life. They are ashamed. They can't. They can't do that. They will never do it. We're born into this thing, and we'll do it. Politics is our life. We are activists for life. And we have chosen an organization that want to advance our activism through, which is the movement, the ANC. And of course now, because we're young, we're leading the youth league. And I don't think there's anything that can stand in our way. What is between us and the future is death.
Exactly. So you studied journalism, but you didn't use that diploma that you got. Obviously, you probably won't use it ever again.
I've used it. I was a spokesperson of the youth league. I was a spokesperson of the youth league twice.
Oh, no, not so much. Not so much, though.
You were just admitting that I write nice.
I've been
writing nice. That is expressing. No, joking. That was on a letter note. Look, I've used it. I think, for me, education, it's just about opening your mind. It's about you, the mind, and it speaks back to the issue I was speaking about of development, of the structure of our economy. This country, my man, it's survival of the fittest.
For sure.
Now, there are many people who study things, they're unable to do those things because their economy is not responding. I'm sure there are many journalists now who are being retrenched.
I mean, you did well because I was going to come to that point. You will be retrenched by now.
Because most journalists, now there's podcasts, there's newspapers have collapsed. I know used to be with the newspaper. I don't know whether they're still with them. Now, newspapers have collapsed. People, things are digital.
True.
The reskilling of upskilling also should apply to journalists, for example. Now, the economy is bad. It needs you to adapt and be tactical and move as it moves.
Yeah.
So, not all is hunky-dory in all the professions. Doctors are complaining. They're no longer... There's online consultations now.
It's a problem.
If certain medication was not released by prescription from a doctor, people were going to go to over the counter and get medication. So there's no profession that's not under attack. You speak to a number of people, they tell you that, my man, in 10 years ago, 5 years ago, things were better. Now it's bad.
But did you want to be a journalist, like when you started studying journalism?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to tell the story of my village, the poverty of our people.
Yes.
How better society must know and improve on, try to contribute. But I think inside me, I didn't know that I was actually the vice versa of a person now who must be the activist who actually runs it. When I got to varsity, in my class of journalism, I was probably the only activist. Those who went to school with me, they know the first project I did, I started an association, SJA. I don't know whether it's still there by TUT. Those who went with me there, 2009, Student Journalism Association. I was the chairperson, I was the inaugural chair. It was an association because one of the things I felt when I got there was that there was no association. Everybody was representing themselves. So it was an association that covered all students. Different, whether first year, second year, third year, final year, whatever. Even postgrad. Because we felt this association should speak for us. And with a number of other young people. They know they're by journalism. Many faces now are in, some of them, they came after us. They're in broadcasting, big TV stations, they're producers. Most of them were calling me after this thing. But what are these people questioning? We know you. So they called me, all of these people, I use my colleagues there. So sometimes when I go to media interviews, this other day, the person who was the producer was my classmate. The person who was interviewing with me, he came at a later grade, at a later year, but same class. So it always feels good, when you do these interviews, because especially most of my generation, they are now senior or middle management in their news rooms and all of that. So it always been something I wanted to do. But I think politics overtook everything. I think even if I had been wanting to be anything else, politics just over, which was the detriment of my parents. My mother always said, "Hey, don't like this thing of yours of politics.
Wasted money.
Why don't you wasted money, school fees?" And then, parents being parents. My father did not even understand what is that, what will it do. So it was not something I just accidentally got into. I had love for it, but obviously that's why my second degree that I did, I had to now deal with public administration, because I want to reposition my academia. And one of the degrees I want to do now, it's around responding to issues of the economy and all of that, because we deal with an economic situation almost every day. So when I'm done with my honors, I'll do something linked to that, because we must study forever. Like you were saying, you got your diploma, we'll have to study forever. We're not studying because we want jobs. We're studying because we want to empower minds. So that when we are given responsibility to provide leadership at any institution, at any organization of ours, we are able to think with a proper mindset of how these things can be practically implemented from a knowledge point of view, without second guessing our advancements on those issues. So that's why we're interested in school. School sharpens your mind. Education sharpens your mind. So we'll continue to do that, and we encourage the youth of this country to go to school. Yes, it's important. There's no shortcut to this thing. We must just all go to school and be able to sharpen our minds so that we build a future that all of us will be able to survive on. Because without education, you can't survive in this economy, man. It's bad. Without being educated, without being skilled, you can't survive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, lastly, tell us about the annual soccer tournament we are linked to. What's happening there?
So it's not just a soccer tournament. There's a lot of sporting codes. There's netball. There's a lot of that. For me, it's about it's just to bring young people together in December.
Yeah.
Outside the framework of fun, in December people have fun, drink alcohol, social ills. Now this one is about more of giving back. Yeah. So these teams, obviously, the whole December they are preparing. From November. Yeah. They are preparing fitness and all. So those young people who are playing, they are not engaged in social ills for that period.
Yeah. They are focusing,
want to win this thing. And you push it until the end of December. So the whole December, which people package it for fun, those people are not having fun. They are focused on this program. Yeah. So we've diverted the youth to without. Which is what should be. You see. Yeah. And even those who are not playing, you've given them entertainment. Because the other problems of villages is that there's no entertainment, my man. There's no entertainment. There's no cinemas there. Yeah. There's nothing. Yeah. It's either you go to the tavern, drink, or sit at home, do nothing. Yeah. So now if they say, no, there's a tournament, all other young people are playing there, they are there, the stadium is packed. It's packed, yeah. Now, there were numbers there, the stadium was full. So we played consecutive days, it was full, people were there. And after this year, we got many calls. Hey, we've started it a bit of bit by bit. People are saying, no, I want to join in next year. These corporates say, no, we want to support you with this and all of that. So it has attracted what we wanted to do. Yeah. And we'll continue to place it around those days because it's important. Because around those times, there's a lot of accidents, people are involved in violent crimes, gender-based violence. Now, if you bring people, those games they play up until late afternoon, 6. Yeah. People are tired, they go sleep, they rest, they're ready for another activity again tomorrow, in the same venue. So it's keeping the community abuzz outside the festivals that are always there. We're not saying people must not go to festivals, but just be diverse and not collate everybody to those activities. Is what we seek to achieve. So that is basically but that foundation of ours continues to do other charity works. It's just that I'm one of those foundations that are only flagging the issue of sport. But we do, for example, we've built a child-headed house in Mangweni. There's a family who once saw there that they are in need of a house, and it's child-headed. The parents are late. We built them a house. We never publicize those things. There are many kids we've assisted to get bursaries through various corporations. That's great. Yeah, we do a lot of charities. There are their families we feed every month, but we chose not to be publicizing those things because we don't believe that those things are for. Yeah, we don't want to use it as PR of looking for yourselves, because it ends up being about ourselves when we give. Yeah, the camera is looking at you. Yeah, you're giving, they're taking pictures. So, as a patron of the foundation, I discouraged those activities. True. I said, look, the only thing we must push publicly is this soccer tournament thing, or this tournament thing which involves netball and all of those things. Yeah, because it's not like there's charity involved there. It's an activity, Yeah. But the charity part, we close it. We close it. And my late mother was at the center of coordinating most of the charity work and all of these things. Okay. So she died last year. So in her honor, we'll always continue because she was the one coordinating that aspect. Because she used to be a teacher there, so she knows everybody. The kids, the locals who have challenges because, because of work, we're no longer full-time in the village and all of those things. And we're not only assisting the village, the areas all over the province, but we're able to deal with the issues there in the village easier.
Okay.
Because she would be there and say from time to time, let's intervene there, there's a problem. Now, we said, look, in her honor, we'll continue and make it bigger and bigger. Of course, if many people and donors come forward, because we can't do these things without donations.
No, for sure.
We don't have the money ourselves. What we do is because of donations. If donations are not coming through, the project is null. Because the project survives because of fellow South Africans who are kind-hearted. They say, look, let's contribute to this. For whatever reason, they contribute. And I believe from where we're sitting, we can do more. And we'll continue to make that signature event bigger, because we believe it has a huge impact in the community.
For sure.
Big impact. And I would have undermined it when it began, but we realize each year people get more excited about it. So that's how it came about. And the foundation is registered, it's official, it's running, it's people who are running it. I'm just a patron. I'm not part of the East Daily operations. I get advised. This is what I want to do. We're doing this. We've already done this. I'm just there using my name to source funds for people to be happy. Because being philanthropic is very important.
It is.
Very important. But for me, that is that.
Okay. No, that's fine. I hope all goes well after this little scandal. Then you can focus on the foundation and continue to impact more lives.
No, definitely. This was nothing. It's something, my man. We've seen better days. We've seen better days. We've seen the devil and come back. Now this is nothing. One day I'll tell you what I mean when I've seen the devil and I came back. One day. I want to commission my book. I want to write a book. Not this year. But to a memo. There are things that we want to say that we'll never say in an interview, but we'll say through that book. The experiences we've had.
It's very important. If you spend so much time in Mpumalanga politics, I guess you should. I recommend that you should. We need to compare notes and see what I wrote and what you're going to write to the link. And
I want to write. I want to write, and we'll give some detail that will explain some of the things because I think if we don't document our lives, will not impact on society the manner in which we want to impact it, because there are things we really need to say out there. I'm happy the former premier Matthew Sposa wrote his book, and it's interesting. I read it, and I got inspired that look, I think I must write, because you'll end up forgetting some of the things.
You'll end up forgetting them.
I was saying to somebody, hey, things that I did in 2010, 11, 12. Now I have to sit down properly to get the actual detail of how they would have unfolded. Now I would imagine if you come back and want to craft a book 20 years later from now, that thing would probably be erased. You'll just know that I was there, but how did it go about? That detail you may not know. So, because there's a lot of issues. We are processing issues. We've got personal lives. We've got our own stress of families and all of this. And then there's this now.
No, everybody's got a story to tell.
So
that's the basic
we're certainly starting to document some events, especially the past events, so that we don't forget them. So that when we get to the recent ones, at least it's just refreshing our memories. But we are definitely going to write something, probably very soon, not this year though.
No, very important.
Because it's important to reflect on our youth activism, our life, and touch a bit on our personal life, because people don't have perceptions about us. They don't know what we go through. That we're human beings,
Exactly.
They think what these machines. Now it's important to consolidate that into a book, and I think Dr. Matthew Sposa just inspired me with that, and I think will do it. I was just telling the president of the Youth League the same thing, that hey, you must write a book, my man, because you went through a lot of things at a young age. Now you'll forget these things. Even if you don't release a book, at least document it.
Yeah, document
because
it.
Because we don't have channels, you know.
Yeah,
we don't have channels the way we keep records.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah,
then you do it now, then later when you retire as the president, then you update it. Let's hope for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah, and thanks very much for giving us time and to talk to you.
Yeah.
Immediately after
no.
a scandal of sorts.
That can't be a scandal, man. It's just a snippet, you know.
Yeah.
It's not even an issue, you know. If it was a scandal, I would be hiding, running away. Yeah. I would not even be doing media interviews because I would still be bruised by ego, whatever. Now, it's not an issue for us, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not an issue because let me tell you, if you are a leader, you must be willing to be held accountable.
True.
When people make you accountable, you must not take it personal as if they're fighting you. The only
That's
people
the point,
that you must just not give a worry yourself on is those who, when you are being made to be accountable, they then use insults.
Yeah.
And then you just let go of them. History will deal with them. Look, the most important thing in South Africa is accountability.
For sure.
And if you are held accountable and you are available to be held accountable, then you are a good leader.
Yeah.
But if you run away, I'm not accountable, I don't want to. You must be held accountable. You know, I was telling my friends in the media the other time, they called me and said, man, I want to be held accountable, but I don't want to give this thing sensation. You know, immediately go to newsroom, media channels, making interviews. You are hyping the thing. We said, look, we are not. Can the institutions respond?
Yeah.
Then Tina will come and say, look, on the basis of this information, this is what we're saying. So you are the first person that I speak to. I had said no interview because that is the agreement that I must not do an interview until this institution that I have a formal relationship with must respond, so that I can come back and say, guys, this is what they are saying. Because now it's a matter of them saying whether I was lying or not. Because I've already said my story.
Yeah.
They must just come and collaborate or go against my story. And whatever happens, and the public protector obviously comes on board as well and say, look, guys,
this
is the story. Now, somebody must say the story. I've said my story.
For sure.
I think what is important is to wait for those people. Maybe to finalize their issues. Then you can be able to now have something of substance. Because now you know my story already. Now the story needs one version now or two versions.
Then it's complete.
Then it's complete.
Okay.
But that is the story, and we'll never lie to South Africans. We'll never do that. We've never done that before.
Okay.
We would have. In fact, if there was something wrong, we're going to withdraw and apologize and retreat. We would have done that already. Because that would be embarrassing. But we've not done that because we know our story. It's in line and aligned.
I like the fact that you emphasize that as a leader, you must not be afraid to account.
No.
So you always have to account at all times.
No. We're accountable ourselves, even to our own organization. I was telling you, we're going to a National General Council in September to account to our members, not just through media and all of that. We're going to our branches now. To say of the 4-year term is 2 years now. What is what we've done in the 2 years? What are you saying? Have we done well? As a treasurer General must produce an audited statement. How have I been handling monies of young people for 2 years? Then they say, no, you've been handling them well. Or they say, no, correct this and that. The president does this report, the SG and everybody. Then that's accountability when you're in leadership. And then National Congress, you account, you live graceful. Now, in an organization also you must account. And when other institutions of the state and organs of state want your accountability, you also account, because it's important to be accountable, my man. If you are not accountable, then you are not a good leader.
For sure. No. I thought I'm concluding, but in concluding now, for real, I almost forgot to ask this question. being a youth league leader today, for sure, is different from being a youth league leader previously, especially before the last general elections. It's a bit of a situation. We are on the verge of something. Okay, there's a GNU now. And then really people are feeling we're on the verge of something. Maybe the next elections, there might not be a GNU. We don't know. Maybe power may change hands. I don't know. Where you're sitting as an ANC Youth League leader, what are the prospects for the future for your party? Young people, we're talking about them, they're unemployed. Some of them are even disillusioned. They don't want anything to do with politics. I think they are most of them are not even going to vote. They are disgruntled and all of that. You obviously have a big challenge to claw back to your position as the ANC, and the responsibility perhaps lies with you guys because you're dealing with the youth. What are the prospects?
No, look, the situation, like I'm saying, if we were to wake up today and say, let's go to elections, I don't think the ANC can come out strong. Because these issues that we are raising of unemployment have not been resolved. The issues of unemployment, if we have not resolved them, in the next election, it will be battered again.
Yeah.
Because people are not saying the ANC is bad. Because if they're saying the ANC is bad, they want to vote another political party, give it 50+%. Yeah. It governs the country. They stay away. The traditional base of the ANC, if you analyze it, put detail to the analysis of the election results, you realize that the ANC support base is there. May have shifted a bit, stay away, others voted for the MK and all of that, but the ANC support base is clear. Because the DA and the FF have not grown. And there's no probability of them growing. They've shown their best performance. They'll never outperform what they've done now. Now, the ANC has a potential to survive, but on the condition that it does the things we're talking about. The ANC no longer needs policies, my man. In terms of policy, the ANC is clear. It just needs people to work and implement.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't believe we need a strong policy, except the issue of reindustrialization we've talking to. It just needs decision. Look, guys, we're deliberate. Let's put industries, trade and industry, put efforts, put timelines and a program.
Yeah.
Now, decisive leadership. Between decisive leadership and the actions is what is keeping the ANC back to power or out of power.
Yeah.
So the power ANC is dependent on its leaders now and their actions.
Yeah.
Not even the next conference is an issue. It's all about what we do from now until because you see the problem, the election cycle in South Africa is very funny. Now we're going to local government elections next year. So there's no time to say, no, we'll reflect, because we can be battered even worse in local government.
Yeah.
Because the issues are more in local government. By the way, people vote around perceptions of local government service delivery than national service delivery.
Of course.
National service delivery, the key indicator is employment and unemployment.
Yeah.
But on the issues of roads, infrastructure,
water and everything.
Those are issues people confront the municipality.
Yeah.
Now, if you are saying they must vote for a fellow who's a councillor who has not been performing for the past 5 years, and you are saying he's coming back for a second term as a councillor, those people are not going to vote for you.
Yeah.
And you want to bring a person they know who's been terrorizing them in the community, and when you bring him back as a councillor, they will not vote for you.
Yeah.
You bring a fellow who has no credibility in the society, you say he must be a councillor because he has won a process in the ANC and all of that. Now, those are things we must reflect on.
For sure.
Because people care about the individuals who lead this project of the ANC now.
Okay.
Because I think they love the ANC, but the pushing back of the ANC is because of certain leaders and what they do to our communities.
Yeah.
Because what a ward councillor does in my ward, the people take it to heart. They don't vote. They care less about what Ramaphosa does, what the premier does. Very little impact on those. The impact is the people who are ward councillors, what they say to our people, what they do to our people on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Those are the people who cost us votes. Because there's no person who lives national, there's a person who lives province. People live in wards, in communities.
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody stays in a ward. And the immediate person when you're frustrated, you see is that ward council and how he responds to those issues.
Yeah.
It's how you're going to perceive the party he represents.
Yeah.
So most of the councillors in this country are ANC councillors. How they are perceived and how they behave. And most municipalities are governed by the ANC. Now the perception is on the ANC.
Yeah.
No, these guys, they're not doing service delivery, they're eating money, they're doing this, they're corrupt and all of these things. Now, they don't respond to our issues. You report patching off a pothole, they don't ever do it. There's no water, there's no response. Water is delivered in water tanks and all of those things. Those are things people are talking on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So it's very important that when we respond to that question, we respond with those actions.
Yeah.
If we don't respond, we're in trouble. Because people are watching us, they want to know and they want to see us doing service delivery. They know we're capable. That's why they are not choosing another person. I'm saying if people of South Africa, like I repeat again, they would have totally annihilated the ANC. This is just a signal. They don't trust all these other people, by the way.
Yeah.
They don't trust them. That's why even people now, when we're formulating the GNU, people still wanted the ANC to be the leader. Even now, people are not criticizing the GNU, they are criticizing the ANC. You people of the ANC are failing to deliver service. So the ANC must just accept that it has a burden of responsibility over the people of South Africa. And its responsibility, when it has been shouldered that burden, is to deliver. Now, we must just activate our people to be driven to deliver.
Yeah.
There's not English will do to save us.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go to a conference, the whole class, there's nothing. What is needed is action.
Yeah.
Patch the potholes, provide water, provide sanitation, provide all these things that our people are complaining about.
Yeah.
Let's collectively resolve the unemployment crisis. The other things, for me, are optics of what fits the purpose and builds this thing that we're doing in this project. But the key things are these things, basic things we're talking about. If people open a tap, there's water, they do sanitation is there, one or two of their kids are at school, one or two of their kids are at the workplace, why would they complain?
Yeah.
But if a parent sees all his kids are seated at home, not at school, not at a factory, the parent themselves are not employed, all the people in this house are living on a social grant, then there's no hope for that family. That family will not value voting. To them, voting will not be uplifting their life because for the past 10, 15, 20 years, probably they've been living like that. But if in the intervening period, the child or the grandchild goes to school or university through NSFAS, after that person goes to work. Those are policies of government, and those people will say, hey, maybe let's consider and vote for this organization because
yeah.
But if they say, in fact, this government has produced 2 Wunga addicts here, Punyaupe addicts, why should they vote?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, on that note, finally, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Thanks for making time. To our viewers and listeners, please don't forget to subscribe, like us, and those who've got businesses, contact us. The details will show on the screen. We've got a very good package for you, a business feature. Until next time. Thanks.